Alright, Shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone at Ruwal, and Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel, and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved on the Bava Kalab from the GMS UK London Forecasters Camp, coming back at you with another lesson to help edify those of which I spoke of. So, I was reading this article here. It's very interesting. It's from Sky News. It says head teacher jailed for attacking his deputy over sexual jealousy. Anthony Felton armed himself with a wrench and sought out his colleague, believing he had slept with another teacher with whom he had recently been in a relationship. Now, the reason why I found this article interesting is because this goes into jealousy and the rage of a man, because according to the Bible, a man is supposed to a man is allowed to have as many wives as he pleases, so long as the woman that he gets with isn't already married to another man. Now, marriage in the Bible is the act of having sex. So if a man gets with a woman who hasn't had sex before with any other man, he makes her his wife by sleeping with her, right? Now, on the flip side, with a woman is only allowed to have one husband. So the first man that a woman sleeps with is technically, according to the law of the Bible, her husband. And if she goes on to sleep with another man after that, that is the act of adultery, according to the law of the Bible. And according to the law of adultery, a man will be can be suspicious of his wife, and he can do a test to find out if she has committed adultery on him by the law of jealousy. If a man suspects that his wife has stepped out on him with another man, he can take her to the high priests, and they would make a potion, and the woman would drink it, and it would reveal whether the woman had been unfaithful or not. Now, a man could do that at any time if he even gets, if he has that, even a random feeling of or suspicion of jealousy, he's able to do that according to the law of the Bible. Now, when a woman has committed adultery with another man, the law of the Bible is that the man and the woman are supposed to be put to death. And it says that jealousy is the rage of a man. So bringing it back to this article here, we can see these things playing out in real life. And we can see how the law of the scriptures would apply in situations like this. But Esau doesn't do anything according to the law of the Bible, so the judgment on the earth is all out of whack. But in reality, when you look at these things through the filter of the scriptures, you get a better understanding of the nature of men and the reasons as to why the Most High created certain laws in the Bible. So let's read this article and we'll get some scriptures. A head teacher who attacked his deputy with a wrench at school due to overwhelming sexual jealousy has been jailed. Anthony John Felton previously pleaded guilty to one count of attempting to cause grievous bodily harm with intent to Richard Pike, 51. The 54-year-old armed himself with the tool and sought out his colleague, attacking him from behind. Lewin Reyes for the prosecution said Felton believed Mr. Pike had slept with another teacher with whom he had recently been in a relationship. This is a dude here. Looks like an Edomite, but who knows. Felton was sentenced to 28 months in prison at Swansea Crown Court on Friday. He was also given a restraining order after the incident at St. Joseph's Roman Catholic Comprehensive School in Aberfon, South Wales on 5th of March this year. Felton threw the wrench away and left the school premises in his car. He then sent an email to his staff apologizing for the problems and distress his actions were likely to cause. Sentencing Felton, Judge Paul Thomas KC said the attack was the result of overwhelming sexual jealousy. The headmaster of a school should take and use a weapon to try to badly injure their deputy is, I suspect, entirely without precedent, he said. Yeah, this is just some of the drama that takes place in schools, isn't it? You were more than intelligent enough to realize you had plotted this bizarre attack, that the impact and ramifications would be immense and far-reaching. The judge said the attack was in effect an ambush, with Mr. Pike believing his attacker to be his friend. In a victim impact statement, Mr. Pike told the court he would live with the attack for the rest of his life, saying it had taken what made me me. I trusted you completely, he said. While John Hipkin KC for the defense said Felton had recently suffered due to the death of his mother and a cancer diagnosis, the judge argued his actions were due to jealousy. He said ultimately the trigger for your act of extreme violence was of your own doing. The overwhelming sexual jealousy arising from an adulterous affair and the uncontrollable rage it created in you. Following the incident, police said Mr. Pike was discharged from hospital after suffering minor injuries. Abul Hussein of the Crown Prosecution Service said Anthony Felton struck a defenseless man repeatedly to the head with a metal weapon, demonstrating he had an intent to cause the victim really serious harm. The level of unprovoked violence from a professional in the workplace was shocking. Too often we see attacks of this nature result in life-changing injuries or fatal consequences. Thankfully, that was not the result in this case. Felton was appointed head teacher in September 2023, according to an annual report from the governing body. So, with that being said, I want to get the scriptures on this. Bear me a second. This is Numbers chapter 5 and verse 30. Numbers 5 and starting at verse 14 says, And the spirit of jealousy. Hang on. And Numbers 5 and verse 14, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled. So this is basically saying if a man suspects this woman's been stepping out, whether she's done it or if she hasn't, this is what he could do in the ancient world. Numbers 5 and 15. Then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Lord. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle, the priest shall take and put it into the water. So this might seem like some out there shit to most day modern churchgoers. And this isn't shit. I'm not calling the laws of the Bible shit. I'm just using that term as to how, most modern day Christians would view this. They'd view this as being way out there or doing witchcraft or, concocting potions. But really, this is all done in righteousness, and it isn't shit, So, reading on, verse 18, and the priest shall set the woman before the Lord and uncover the woman's head and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee besides thine husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the priest shall say unto the woman, the Lord maketh thee a curse and an oath among thy people, when the Lord doth make thy thigh to rot and thy belly to swell. And this water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels, and make thy belly to swell, and thy thigh to rot. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen, meaning so be true. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand, and shall wave the offering before the Lord Yahweh, and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take a handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar, and afterwards shall cause the woman to drink the water. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass, that if she be defiled, and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thigh shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free, and shall conceive seed. This is the law of jealousies. When a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband, and is defiled, or when the spirit of jealousy cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before the Lord Yahweh, and the priest shall execute upon her all his law. Then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. So as you can see in the law of the Bible, there's a whole, half of a chapter dedicated to dealing with the law of a man that is jealous over his wife. A man that's has suspicions of jealousy. This is what he can do. And ultimately, if that woman was found to be guilty, she could, be put to death for that, because adultery is a sin unto death. Now, hold on. Just finding another precept here. This is Proverbs 6 and 34. Let me read up from verse 32. Proverbs 6 and 32. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. A wound and dishonour shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. So, That's what happens when a man is jealous. You know, the Bible gives us insight and understanding into the nature of man and how we should go about judging certain situations that inevitably come up in this life. See, Esau doesn't judge situations righteously or according to the law of the Bible. Esau just makes shit up and does whatever the hell he wants. And that's why there's no justice and judgment on the earth, which is why ultimately Esau's going to be taken out of power. And, you know, Jake, being the Israelites, they're going to be reestablished in the position of power. And when the Israelites are set up on this earth, you know, under Yahushua and King David in the kingdom of heaven, then we're going to execute all the laws of this Bible. And these judgments that I just read are going to be put back into effect. And you ain't going to have adultery running rampant in the kingdom of heaven the way it is in this current kingdom of Esau. All right, let's get back to Numbers 5. Bear me a moment while I find this. This is Numbers 5. I'm going to read from 11. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she is defiled, and there is no witness against her, neither she be taken with the manner, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled, then shall he go unto the priest. Then shall the man take his wife unto the priest. So yeah, this goes back into what I was reading before. So, you know, Numbers chapter 5 from verse 1 all the way down to 31 deals with this particular situation. You know, a situation that we saw play out in the world. You know, the Bible teaches you how to deal with that. You know, so yeah, very interesting. But again, Esau doesn't do anything according to the law of the Bible, so it should be no surprise that, you know, right judgment isn't proceeding forth from this man. But anyway, interesting article when filtered through the lens of the scriptures. So Lord willing, that was edifying. You know, those of you who may not have known may have a little bit more insight into why the Bible is such an important book for the children of Israel, because it gives us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of how to navigate through life, you know, according to the law of the Most High. So with that, once again, giving all praises and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakodash, double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone at Vulwell. Shalom to the 144,000 elect men of the nation of Israel and the rest of the elect that are destined to be saved. And I'll catch you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Shalom for now.